Hey everybody, welcome to That Vinyl channel. I'm That Vinyl Guy Boss. So in my last video I promised that I would show you some records that I picked up recently from an antique mall. Now antique malls are very cool because they're kind of like flea markets. In a way they have booths all ran by different individuals, and this antique mall was huge. I've gone there twice so far, and I think I've barely seen half of it. But these are all that I picked up, so I'm going to show it to you. So there's one guy that was selling a bunch of children's antique toys, and he had this Bozo cartoon book. It's very, very cool. I don't have a lot of these in my collection, but I do remember Bozo. Once you open it up, it's a book. There's a record that goes along with it. It's very cool. So I went ahead and picked up that. And this here, I believe, is a Canadian band, Straight Lines. Now, lately, I've been on a kick about picking up records, not just in person, at brick and mortar stores or flea markets, or in this case, an antique mall, but also on eBay and places, Discogs. I've been on a kick of buying records of the bands between about the mid-1970s through about the mid-1980s, rock bands mainly. They only put out 1, 2, maybe 3 albums. Believe it or not, a lot of these albums are amazing, and these are groups I've never heard of before, and most of them are really great. There's a few of them that are okay, but most of them have been really great. So this is on the same vein as that. Straight Lines. This is a band out of Canada. I think they have only 2 albums, or I'm not really sure, but I can't wait to play this. So I got this one, Leroy, another band I think that only released a couple of records. Got a soundtrack to MASH. So very cool stuff. Picked up another soundtrack, Moscow on the Hudson. One of my favorite movies with Robin Williams, and my wife had never seen this before, so we actually watched this maybe 3 or 4 months ago. So, but yeah, it's one of my favorite movies by him. So here's Axe. I think this is another band. They may have a few more albums, but it's not that well known. Of course, Sammy Hagar, and his last one, I think it's called The Circle, was very, very good. So, but I got this one, I didn't have it. So, okay, in Spandau Ballet from the 1980s, this is Gold, the single, special extended remix. This is a Sweet album, Cut Above the Rest, Point Blank. I do have, I think I have 1 or 2 other Point Blank albums, and they're pretty good, so I don't know much about this, but I went ahead and picked it up, and hopefully it's going to be good. I'm sure it is going to be. And this is an interesting one here. This is the Year in Music's Greatest Hits. Now this is a Columbia House, or is it Columbia or Columbia? I think this is actually Columbia House. Columbia Musical Treasures, a product of Columbia House. So this has mainly late 1970s songs. I see Le Freak on here. I see My Sharona, What a Fool Believes, Do You Think I'm Sexy? So I really like compilation albums, especially from the years that I grew up, mainly, which is again from the mid 70s to the mid 80s. I graduated high school in 1983, so I grew up with all this music. So that's going to be interesting. Now this here, I didn't know what this was in the store when I bought it, but once I got home I looked it up. This is a soundtrack to this movie. They call it an accident. From what I understand, this is an English translation, but it's actually, I believe, a French movie. So I've never heard of it before. I really can't even find it to download it and watch it. But being big in the soundtracks that I was, and I really liked the art on the cover. It really intrigued me, so I went ahead and picked it up. So this one here is, let me see if I can do this, see if I can get a better look. This here is 38 Special. I'm a big fan of 38 Special, so I don't have this particular record. So we went and got it. Now this guy in his booth, he had a lot of Walt Disney records. I mean, a slew of Walt Disney records. And I do have about 20 or 30 in my collection. Here is one of my favorite Disney movies, which is A Jungle Book. But this is all in Spanish. I don't know if you can see it right there, all in Spanish. So I'm very interested in getting this out. I'm playing it, everything on this. Let me put it in some better light for you so you can see it. But this whole thing is in Spanish, version original in Espanol. So that's going to be very, very, very cool to play. So I can't wait to get that opened up and take a listen to it. So I'm a huge, huge fan of Toto. And speaking of Toto, this is something that I just got from Amazon. It came out recently in the last couple of months. Toto live at Montreal, 1991. Very, very amazing live album. Their version of Africa on here is one of the best live versions that I've ever heard. So I just played this a couple days ago. So and I was just blown away. I'm a huge, huge Toto fan. And this is Toto Fahrenheit. I believe it's from the mid-1980s. I actually have never, I've seen this album before in the wild, but I've never purchased it before. I figure it's about time that I take a listen to it. I'm not sure if there's any songs on it that I know or not. See, nothing that I'm familiar with, just by the titles. So, yeah, I do want to go ahead and give this a listen. And we have here the original soundtrack to Tommy. So, oops, there you go. Sorry about that. Original soundtrack to Tommy. I do have the Who version of Tommy, but I do not have the soundtrack. What's a little different between the Who version of Tommy and the soundtrack has all the artists that performed in the movie, like Eric Clapton and Elton John, Tina Turner, Jack Nicholson, really? Keith Moon, and stuff like that, as were in the Who version album of Tommy. All those songs are performed by the Who. So I don't have this yet in my collection, so very, 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 very excited to get it. Now here is something very, very interesting. Man, I was just blown away when I saw this. Let me see if I can get a better picture of it for you all. So this is Westworld, the original soundtrack from the early 1970s when this was released. I think this came out. I should have checked this out before here's the back of it if you want to see it. 1973 it says, with Yul Brynner and James Brolin. But this is the original soundtrack to the original movie Westworld that I have not seen probably since I was about 10 years old. It's about time that I watch it again. So I'm a huge fan of Westworld. As a matter of fact, I have the soundtracks to both HBO season 1, which is right here, and this here is season 2. I'm not even sure if season 3 is out yet. I actually haven't seen season 3. So I just haven't had time this year to actually sit down and watch season 3. But I did want to show this to you. But let's see. This might I have two left. So this here is Brainstorm. I remember seeing Brainstorm. It's a soundtrack to a movie with who's in the movie again from West Side Story? What's her name? Natalie Wood. Yeah. Natalie Wood and Christopher Walken. So a very good movie, and I was very, very excited about this one too, to get the soundtrack. So there we go. It's that, and last but not least, Journey Raised on Radio. Comes with it came with the hype sticker. It's pretty cool. So I have almost all of Journey's albums, but I don't have this one, so I figure it's about time that I go ahead and get it. That's pretty much it for today. That's all I got to show you. Just all the records here that I got from the Antique Mall. I do want to thank you for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, now is a great time. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button, and don't forget to press that bell icon for notifications, and I'll see you all next time.